Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 1 review. Let's get right into this. So to begin, I'm going to give my general thoughts about the episode, and let me just say this. So this episode was titled The Northern Star, and I was wondering today, why is it titled that? What is the relevance of that? Well, just so you know, spoilers ahead. Okay, just to be clear, spoilers ahead, spoilers. But we found out during the episode why it's called that, and it's because of this, pretty much, this boat, right? The ship, whatever, ship, boat, whatever, ship that is, well, that's pretty much that Fisk has a connection to, right? He's pretty much just, typical organized crime type stuff. But yeah, he is pretty much just moving a whole bunch of weapons, artillery, whatever, military, whatever, a whole bunch of weapons. Point being, right? And he's doing it very under the radar, low key type stuff. Okay, just typical, crime syndicate type stuff. Besides the point. But like more generally speaking, I didn't know what to expect going into the season. Besides that, okay, it should be better because we got the team that pretty much has been working on Daredevil since the creative overhaul for Born Again Season 1. And I'm like, from like what Dario, right, the showrunner's been doing, from what we saw in Season 1, and also what's called Benson and Moorhead, the directors, for like the reworked stuff. I'm like, I really like their vision, right? What they've been doing in Season 1. I'm like, okay, so hopefully, obviously, like it's gonna get expanded. It's gonna be a whole one like singular vision for the entire season, and yeah, I'm like, it should be good. And after watching this episode, I'm like, wow. I was kind of iffy. I won't lie. That throughout the episode, like the beginning bit, or not the like literal beginning, but just throughout the episode, I was watching. I'm like, how do I feel about this? I feel like I don't know. Like I like this, but I didn't know what to expect with the new creative direction, and I don't know if I was expecting to go fully Netflix back to that style. Like obviously it's unrealistic, but I don't know what it was. It did feel strange, I guess, because I wasn't expecting the Netflix like that type of series to come back, but also I guess maybe I was expecting. I don't know. I guess I kind of undermined them in a way, but this series is like, it even surpassed my expectations. It was way better than I thought. Like this episode would be. Sorry. And I mean, my best way of describing it is like it is a mix of the Daredevil Netflix series, but also with a new vision. You know what I mean? And obviously they still have a little bit of the Born Again stuff from Season 1, which they kind of have to, right? Some loose ends from there, but they're doing like this season's just doing a way better job. This is way more interesting. Even for this one episode alone, I will say this one episode of Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is, yeah, it'd be one of the best. I wouldn't say the best from Season 1, but it would be one of the best. Like it's that good. It's that good. Like compared to the other episodes in Season 1 that weren't reworked, that were like the OG ones. Yeah, this episode absolutely clears. Let's just say that. And also, man, just even the small things, such as the music, like the needle drops that they have in here, absolutely beautiful. And let me say this: we are back to getting absolute banger cliffhangers in Daredevil Born Again. Okay, or well, in Daredevil in general, but you got what I mean. In Born Again though now. Okay, Season 1 is lacking the cliffhangers, like the actual like good ones. You know what I mean? Here we're getting absolute banger ones, like I would say Netflix level type. Because now I'm interested in week 2. What's gonna happen? There's a lot of stuff that happened. Okay, we'll get into that because I'm gonna do the breakdown, frame by frame in a second. What else was there? I mean, visually, it's just absolutely stunning. Like we saw all the marketing they showed leading up to the release of the season, and you could tell there's a big difference. But actually watching a whole episode is different, right? And after watching the episode, I'm like, yeah, this is beautiful. I mean, the color grading, way better. It does like I know I'm kind of like talking about it quite a bit, but it does remind me more of the OG series. And let's just say this: there's way less fog. That was like the main complaint, and way less CGI, which is absolutely great. I love that. And also, I mean, we saw it from this team that worked on a few episodes last season, right? But first of all, the writing just way better. But in terms of visual style, when they did like they did like the fishbowl ends and like the aspect ratio changes, right? Like you see that more in this obviously you see that more in this season, but in this episode in particular, we see like the season opens up pretty much with that as well. And so I love that. I mean, that was one of my favorite aspects of last season. And then here they're doing it, even more. So I love that. And also you get more of the wide shots, right? Even in the alleyways, you get the wide shots, which I like quite a bit. And let me think, what else was it? Also, you get just like better settings that they're actually, I guess, filming at. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like having interesting like architecture and stuff. I mean, the standout shot is with Cherry and Matt when they're kind of like, just got they're with one or they're with each other and they're under like this bridge. I guess it was a bridge. But it's like the pillars are just, well, like they look insane on, watching like the way they filmed it, they look insane. So that was pretty good. But yeah, so let's get into the frame by frame breakdown because enough yapping by me. But the episode opens. I mean, it literally opens. The first shot that we see is the BB report type stuff, and yeah, it's just typical. We've seen it in marketing, spreading the propaganda, the Fisk administration, whatever you want to call it. We know how he has a hold pretty much on just the media and particularly like especially BB. So you see just the propaganda spread. Like this is the most forced stuff ever. But and I will say another thing. A lot of the stuff throughout this episode is very relevant to current time, right? Which does make it, at least for me, I feel like it made it more like better, right? So I'll leave it at that there. But yeah, just the propaganda is clear as day. Like really, you're trying to make the anti-vigilante task force here, like interacting, doing some community engagement, whatever, community service by like engaging with the the elders and the kids, trying to act like they're they're good people. Come on, man. Like really, who was falling for this? Genuinely, who was falling for this? I mean, that's besides the point though. And they do expand on that later, showing the other side of it. And then, like I said, this is the opening sequence of the episode, the main one where you see Matt, or well, I should say Daredevil, and we finally get to see the Double D suit kind of introduced here, and he's just aura farming like quite a bit in here. But this reminds me of, oh my god, I'm not gonna lie, like I know it's gonna be like you're gonna say, some people might be saying, oh, this is insane, like this guy's going insane, just just hyping this up, but um this really did, like the opening sequence of this episode did remind me of the Netflix Daredevil series quite a bit. And the reason being that you just see him kind of like chilling at the top, right? Like on top of stuff. I don't know, like like whatever art, cargo crates, whatever, on top like the height, and then grapples down, whatever. I mean, even though it's kind of like a newer thing, but you know what I'm saying. Especially at night, right? We used to see that in the Netflix series, him just kind of like going for traditional crime. Like season one was more so the law stuff. We kind of lost this aspect of it where he's just defeating kind of like just night crime. You know what I mean? Organized crime at night. It's like some low level goons, and yeah, so he just pretty much takes a whole bunch of them down, and it's pretty cool. Like it's a great way to start the season, let alone an episode. And then we finally get to the inside of the ship, and Daredevil, just crazy action here. He takes down everyone with ease, and obviously then the captain, and I guess his like second hand or like his right hand man they get alerted because they see on the camera that all their guys are down, and that also Daredevil's on the camera, and then like, oh shoot, we got to get out of here. And the one guy's kind of just worried. He's like, oh man, I don't know if we should leave, the rest of our men on here, our crew. And the captain's like, nah, we got to. And then they leave. And that's kind of like sets up the whole, at least the start of the season, the whole premise of the season, the main thing, which is the main objective as of right now in the season, I would say, is Fisk going after these two guys, and we'll talk about one of them is, I mean, yeah, one of them is done already. Let's just say that. And then yeah, it's great action. It's great choreography. I mean, it was mostly just fighting, but I mean that is a big reason why we like the Daredevil series. But like, there's nothing else to say besides, man, just beautiful choreography. And also, when they change the aspect ratios and stuff, and oh my god, I can't even speak. It's so good. It's genuinely so good. And I will say, I do wish I didn't see the marketing, because I did see this clip, and a whole bunch of the like clips that we have seen are from the first episode, which has me hyped because that means they didn't show a lot from the later episodes, which are supposed to be even better. And I will say, like, yeah, the season starts off slow, but that's expected. Even the OG Netflix seasons, they start off slow as well. Season 3, arguably the slowest one, like to start it off, and it turned out. Look at that, how that turned out. That turned out to be the best. So like, I don't mind the slow episodes, right? And because they're still good. Okay, if they're bad and slow, then it's like, okay, yeah, this is a problem. But no, these are quality, and you can just tell now, like the big budget, the Disney budget is being fully utilized. But besides the point, you just see Matt, like I said, aura farming, Daredevil aura farming, and then yeah, he kind of just like jumps into the water. He kind of like was timing it, jumps into the water, and then he ends up, on shore. And yeah, like this is all connected. This is all connected to the whole was it the Red Hook project and Fisk, which we'll also get into in a bit. Then we get the introduction, of course, which is still the same. I didn't notice any difference. I was wondering if there was gonna be, but no. And then we pick up Josie's where, I mean, season 1 ended, where Matt was literally there making or forming the resistance for season 2. So he goes back in here, and we find out that Karen's in here, and she's, she's like training, right? Because they have to train to get ready. I mean, like it's an uphill battle, so of course they have to train. But yeah, it's just Matt and Karen right now, like that are like really into this. Like they're doing like the most of the work, like on the front lines per se. And then they're just kind of talking and stuff about, like everything that's happened. Like I think in this scene Matt was kind of frustrated because it's like they're trying to get leads, trying to make a difference and stuff, and yeah, not everything goes as planned. But still, at the end of the day, the silver lining was that they got, they triggered Fisk, because he didn't get his whole shipment, and he also wants, like when plans don't go Fisk's way, he gets very triggered. And then you do see the most important thing in the scene is that Matt and Karen, their relationship, they're making it as clear as day here. Like they are a thing. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. It's clear as day. And then the next scene here, we see Sheila, who obviously most recently was in the Brand New Day, Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. So we'll see what happens with her. Presumably, she might be Mayor, right? Because we know that Fisk is most likely, well, not most likely, he will be, his demise will be in the season as Mayor, okay? But Fisk pretty much, he shows up on the location where where the ship literally sank, right? And he's just mad. He's just mad. He pretty much gets Buck and Daniel and like his whole crew, his whole staff just go handle certain situations of it, right? But in particularly, he gets Buck to handle the loose ends of those two, like the captain, the crewmate. Like, go find them. Need this to be dealt with. And let me see here what happens after that. And then we go to the next scene, which is with Matthew Lillard's character. Was it Mr. Charles? I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong. And he's supposed to be in somewhere near, was it Washington? Langley, right? It kind of reminds me, like, whenever I hear Langley now, I always think of like the CIA or something, just because of like the the shows and the movies. But yeah, like his character is, unless I'm wrong, his character is pretty much kind of like that, right? Like he works. If I'm not wrong, he works for the government, right? I could be wrong about that, but at least that was my understanding of it. And he pretty much just gets a call saying, "Yeah, we need you. We need you to do this." And he was about to have a drink, but no, he puts his burner phone after the drink. He puts the phone into the drink, and he doesn't want to be tracked. He doesn't want his phone to be tapped. And the next scene we get is like another little B report one, more propaganda. Nothing else needs to be said there. And then we get a beautiful scene here. Like the lighting is clear as day. Like the lighting is so good now. Oh my god. Another scene between Matt and Karen, and they're just kind of talking. But they're talking about how to get more leads, I'm pretty sure, in the scene as well. And Karen's like, I'll have this my source. I'll be able to meet her like 4 p.m. I think latest or something. And we find out later on that BB Urich is her source. And then we go to Fisk, where he gets some other people. I guess these are other people that are in, technically the like municipal government, and they're like, they're like, "What are you doing, man? Like, look at this, like the whole shipwreck. Like it's a bad look, and on top, like got the whole ridiculous vigilante act going on, and the anti-vigilante task force is a part of it. Like, you know what? I'm like, it's over. Like, you didn't even consult us about this, right? Like the governor, like you didn't even ask him or anything. So like we're here like to stop this pretty much, and you're gonna be actually like I'm gonna be overseeing everything you do. And then guess what? Then we see Matthew Lillard's character, Mr. Charles, come in, and everyone's confused. But Fisk isn't. Fisk knows exactly why he's here. He already knows what the deal is. And long story short, not too long after that, we get one of the guys that's kind of like pressing Fisk. He gets a call, and after that, his whole mood, his whole demeanor changes. He's like, Fisk, actually, Mayor Fisk will do whatever you want. Okay, you know what? Just ignore what I said. We'll do exactly what you want now. You're right. You can't do any wrong. So that's pretty much that scene. The back and forth is pretty funny. I can't lie. And then the next scene here, we see Karen, and pretty much it's showing how. This episode does a pretty good job of showing how Matt and Karen are pretty much exiled from society. They can't do anything. They're wanted everywhere. Fisk makes it clear as well, right? They have dialogue. Pretty clearly Fisk saying like, Matt. I think he said it, yeah. Like, Matt and Karen, like they're wanted and everything. Also, they have the posters as well across the city. So and even to the point where they gotta obviously wear the hoodies. It kind of reminds you like of the earlier seasons of the show. I think season 3 actually, where Matt kind of had to like hide himself as well, like the hoodie and stuff. And then Karen here, she has to wear the wig in order to blend in, not make a scene. But here she has someone that's helping her. They just drop off the files, slickly in this convenience store, or whatever, and she grabs them and just dips. That's the scene there. And then here, this is where we start to build more on the side characters. And a big thing about Daredevil Born Again season 2 from the reviews and like the critics, whatever, the early reactions we've been seeing were that the side characters, unlike Daredevil Born Again season 1, where they were literally boring, not interesting at all. Like there's no point in them. Okay, they were worthless in the show. Okay, in season 2 though, they're actually fleshing them out. They're actually gonna have their own storylines, kind of like separate from like Matt and everything, right? And they're actually gonna be interesting. So this is great. This is great. I don't know why they didn't do this in season 1. They just had them all reliant upon Matt, and then this like they just had no personality. We didn't know anything really about them. They're just boring characters here, and then eventually by the end of the season, of course, it's gonna all tie in together. Everything's gonna intersect, right? So this is good. But apparently Heather is supposed to be a standout, and we see her having a lot of scenes in this episode with the swordsman character, and she's pretty much like they make it clear as day in this episode that Heather is, first of all, she's, mentally, she's still trying to recover from the traumatic experience she had last season, where Muse was, just tormented her, right? And pretty much as she's interviewing the swordsman, she just starts getting flashbacks and like just seeing like I guess like just seeing visions of him, of his like spirit, of Muse's spirit. And also she pretty much blackmails swordsman into just taking the test, with her, because she's like, otherwise I just get the task force just pretty much just like deal with you, and you can't do anything about it because you don't have any jurisdiction here. So yeah, and saying like they're making it very clear that Heather, even at the end of season 1, you could tell this is gonna happen, but that Heather is she's on the dark side now. She's turning into an evil person. But I wonder what else they're gonna do for her, because right now I actually do like the direction they're going with. Okay, because before in season 1, Heather was just like, I don't know, she just made like I don't know, I feel like she just didn't. Yeah, like in season 1, I didn't like her character that much. I found her character a little annoying because she like Matt would be trying his best to like do everything, and then she would just be like tearing him down the entire time, right? But here now, like just like every other side character now, she's actually serving a purpose here in season 2, which is great. And she's gonna be like, in a way, she is an adversary to Matt, right? Because she's like working alongside Fisk and like literally cooking the books, quite literally, which you see later in the episode. So I wonder I wonder if we're gonna see Matt and Heather kind of interact later or throughout the season, because that'll be interesting, because now they're on different sides, right? Kind of like the juxtaposition. And then we go to back to the law firm, right? The new one that was like between Matt and Kirsten. And here we're just kind of getting an update on her, and we see also Cherry here, the goat Cherry. I know people hate Cherry. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Cherry was overhated. He was overhated. That's all I can really say. And they are redeeming him. Just in this episode alone, his character's so much better. I can't even lie. But he's having a conversation with Kirsten, and she's like, yeah, I'm worried about Matt. Like he's just gone AWOL, right? Like what, like like he's wanted everything. Like I'm just worried for him. Like I just want to make sure he's all good. And Cherry's like, yeah, I know, but you know how Matt is. Like he should be good. And then we get I'm pretty sure, and then we get the DA, right? From, I'm pretty sure he was in season 1 as well. But this guy clear as day is evil, and he's also working alongside Fisk. And he pretty much just interrupts the whole conversation, and then he's like, you know what, Kirsten, I just I need to talk to you because I want to get you back on my team, right? I want you to join the DA again. And bro, this guy's being just mad disrespectful. I can't believe it. And just, bro, he's just saying wild stuff. And then she's like, nah, screw off, go away. It's like, F off. And he's pretty much just like saying like, you have like, I can just do like whatever, right? Like you don't, like, it doesn't matter what evidence you have in this case. The evidence doesn't matter. Like, bro, like this talk about pure corruption right there. It doesn't, like, evidence doesn't matter. So the whole, there's no due justice, due diligence. There's nothing. There's nothing. It doesn't matter. Due process is non-existence. You're not getting a fair trial. It's like, nah, it doesn't matter. It's all for show, right? None of this matters. Like that, like, I mean, I feel like that was a pretty great scene. That's what it signified. And then let me see, after this, we get the beautiful shot that I was talking about earlier in the video between Cherry and Matt, where they're like under, I think it's under a bridge, and you see the pillars, just yeah, like huge pillars, and also it's like the symmetry of it too, which is what makes it nice. And on top of it, there's fog here, but it actually looks like natural fog. I can't lie. And then you also have it raining too. I mean, it's a perfect atmosphere. And here you see Matt talking to Cherry, and he's like, I need you to do this for me. I need you to find out the names of the captain and the crewmate. It's very important, and that's what I need. And yeah, I mean, Cherry's like, oh man, yeah, like, come on, like I'm so old. Like that's like the main theme of him just saying like I'm old and stuff like that. But it does kind of pay off later, to be honest. And like Matt's like, I appreciate you. Matt kind of dissed him low key, and then he recovered by saying, no, I appreciate, like, you've been helping us since the beginning, right? And then the next scene here, we get the anti-vigilante task force just going into like I mean, it's not random, but going into this restaurant and just raiding it, essentially, just asserting their dominance, and just talking to the boss, the lady, and just being like, oh, do you know, like, giving or showing the picture of the two men, and being like, oh, like, we pretty much heard that these guys are here. Do you know them? And obviously she wasn't gonna give them up, and then she just says like, you guys are evil. No, I'm not talking to you guys. And then what does he do? I knew, bro. This is, I mean, yeah, like, this is insane. Then you just see him, power trip, power abuse like usual, right? What's this, Officer Powell, if I'm not wrong? He's the biggest menace, right? He's the biggest menace out of the task force members. You see him just hit her, right? Just because, just because he has a power, right? That's really all it is. And then I mean, it was absolutely insane. He just asserts his dominance there. And then they find out, oh, look, they see the guy that, oh, she's actually housing that one guy, because she's known for, I guess, housing, what's the word? She's known for helping, like, just known for helping people, right? People that are like endangered, like just like the captain and the crewmate. And then the captain was here, he was in the bar, and then they see him, and then he starts running off to the back. He exits, and then he's in the alleyway. And then guess what? The anti-vigilante task force, they pin him down, right, from both directions. And then, yeah, Powell does the same thing here, starts going off on him, hitting him, and he's just all, bloodied up by this point, obviously. These guys, they're reckless, they don't care. I mean, yeah, they're just violating so much laws, so many laws. But yeah, just like I said again, parallels to real life. And then the next scene here is where we get the interesting stuff. It's another BB report, at least that's what it seems. But then it's cut off, right? So we don't get any more propaganda. Now we get another side of it where someone is acting as, well, like playfully acting as Fisk and just talking about everything and just showing how it's all propaganda, right? Like how everything Fisk is saying, the media, whatever, everything is just a misrepresentation. It's all lies. It's deceiving, and this person is trying to show like the real truth, whatever. But the most interesting thing about it, I mean, I don't know who it is, who could be playing this. I mean, I know the theory was as Mr. Charles. I don't know. We'll see. I have no clue right now. But the main thing in here is that we get a reference, not even reference, like it's literally clear as day. They actually feature and show Ben Urich. So this right here is where you start getting the Netflix Daredevil connection to it, which is what the showrunner was talking about. And I'm like, this is pretty cool. And then they talk about, like, they actually like go in depth into what happened. Like this little vignette here goes into depth to what happened to him and how, you know, Fisk was responsible behind this and everything. Like, can't trust this dude. So that was pretty epic. And then let me see here. And the next scene here, I mean, there was another scene. Speaking of references, there was another scene. I think it was later on the episode though. It was another scene between Matt and Karen, and then like Matt's training hard and stuff. Actually, too hard, right? Kind of too hard. Like, you know, it's going crazy. And then Karen says something to him like I don't know, something about him training hard. And then Matt's like, yeah, I learned it from, like, you know, this old dude or whatever. If I'm not wrong, right? This is the goat. This is the reference to the goat Stick, back from, you know, the Netflix era, of course. Stick got done dirty. I can't lie. He got done dirty, but that's besides the point. So I thought that was pretty cool. I like that reference quite a bit. And then we got, like I said, here a scene between BB Urich and Daniel. We already know this is kind of like a thing in season 1 where they have like an interesting relationship. I don't know. I feel like Daniel feels like he's in a different relationship with her than, you know, what the reality is. Because reality is, BB's is trying to get, you know, extract the information from him, right? And she's doing that pretty much by just, you know, like whatever. Like, I think she cleaned up his like place after the party, right? And stuff like that, right? Because she's a journalist at the end of the day, right? She's trying to get information, intel, and also she's working for the resistance, right? Like feeding information to Karen, and like therefore, you know, by extension, helping Matt and the resistance. So obviously, like she just needs to get the information, right? And Daniel's a very good source. He's like almost the right hand man behind Buck for Fisk. So she needs to pretty much just do whatever to get the information, right? Because that's like she's a journalist and stuff like that, right? So, and obviously she's also providing intel, so, you know, that makes sense. But like, yeah, these two, I mean, Daniels is this dude. This scene here kind of made me think, yeah, like because BB's like trying to warn Daniel about the risks and stuff of Fisk, and, you know, so everything like that, and especially because, bro, Daniel's literally feeding information that shouldn't be getting, like, he shouldn't be leaking this information. This information is supposed to stay, you know, close knitted, close tighted, or close, you know, close to the vest, and he's leaking it, right? He's like a whistleblower, and eventually he's gonna get caught. I have a feeling that maybe Buck. This is my theory. I feel like Buck will eventually catch Daniel, you know, in the act of just pretty much, yeah, just like snitching. He's pretty much just giving out information like this, right? Um, and Buck's gonna deal with him, or he's gonna tell Buck will tell Fisk, and then, you know, Buck will probably just end up murking Daniel. That's my theory. It's just like the dialogue in the scene, the way everything about it just made me feel like, yeah, even with like the BB just warning Daniel to be careful, I feel like he's getting slimed out, bro. This season, by the end of the season, he's getting slimed out. I'd be surprised if he didn't. That's the way it's going. Even season 1, they were kind of alluding to that, but then he somehow built more trust with Fisk, right? After he made mistakes. And the next scene here, we see Matt. He goes to that restaurant later on, and keep in mind, it's all 6 months later. That's why there is a bit of a time gap. But yeah, he goes to the same restaurant, and this also, another scene here, reminds me of the OG series, right? There is more like the investigative type stuff, if you know what I mean. I think that's probably my best way of describing it. So like that, I mean, I'm glad they had these elements back. And pretty much she's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. And he pretty much is like, he validates himself. He's like, yeah, like, Matt Murdock. Essentially, like, I can help you guys. And then obviously she she helps Matt and just spills the beans about everything. And there's even a reference here about how one of the ship guys were supposed to be sent to Toronto. I'm like, oh, this is a W. But unfortunately, the T was pronounced in here. As a Canadian, that's a big no-no. But yeah, no, I mean, it's not a big deal. I just want to say that. So yeah, this scene here kind of establishes like Matt, he's getting way closer. I mean, he's pretty much finding out these people, what he needed, the intel on these, like the captain and the crewmate, right? From what I remember, yeah. And the next thing here, we go to the task force, and of course, Officer Powell. He's just torturing this dude, right? He's torturing the captain, right? He's torturing the captain, and this is going really bad. And then Buck steps in, right? And this is where I'm like, yeah, this is gonna get only worse. I mean, we know how Buck was in season 1, but also I just know the way Daredevil is, the series, the way it goes. Buck is acting like, no, it's okay. Like, don't know. This guy's like, get out here, pal. You're being too rough, right? This is not the way to do things. Let me handle this. Like in a more, like he's gonna be more humane, more elegant towards the guy. Like actually, let him go. No, of course not. Come on, we all know that. What does he do instead? He just like makes the guy think he's gonna be safe. No, he even like says, "Oh no, I know you want to be freed, right? I think we arrange that." And then as soon as I see him shifting his body behind the guy, I'm like, "Yeah, Buck is definitely gonna shoot this guy in the head," and then he does, and then he just leaves. Like, I mean, obviously, very cruel, very very cruel, but this is what I expected from Buck. And then let me see here in the next scene. We see Vanessa and Fisk at the, just inside their house, like at a dinner table, whatever. And they're there with Mr. Charles, and Mr. Charles kind of laying out his plan. He, long story short, he's like, okay, so in order to just cut the loose ends, like, I'm sent by these people, and pretty much in order to cut loose ends, make sure none of this like stuff gets sloppy again. We're gonna get these like decent worker, like these workers are decent, but obviously we'll supply them whatever. And after every shipment, we're just gonna kill them off, so we have no loose ends. And this way, it won't go back to either of us. It won't go back to it won't be tracked on us or you, and we can still get our business done, right? So it's like, wow, this is absolutely slimy. And I'm still confused. Like, so maybe this episode made me think, okay, is Matthew Lillard's character, Mr. Charles, not? I guess that whole theory about the witness protection, maybe it's not true. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like he's a good guy still. Like Matthew Lillard, like this is the perfect role for him. This is such a him type of role. But yeah, I digress. And then let me see here in the next scene. It's a small scene of Daniel just seeing that his place was cleaned up after the party, right? By what was it, BB? And then we see BB, then we see Karen with her source, that's the intel, and we find out that it's none other than BB. And this scene here, I think this might have been almost the best scene of the episode, arguably, right? Maybe probably like second or third, because the ending was really really good. I love the ending. But here, Karen pretty much just lays down the facts, the hard truth that especially being a journalist and the the type of journalist that BB wants to be, and just even like working, kind of like helping out, Karen helping herself out, is dangerous. And then she even connects or relates it back to Ben Urich, who is obviously the uncle of BB, and Karen's like just trying to make the point that like you're gonna get killed. Like if you continue down this path, you're gonna get killed. Like trust me, I've seen it. Like she's like, I still think about how it's like it's my fault that Ben is dead due to Kingpin and everything. And then BB's like, she finally gets. I guess it was kind of like just reconfirmed. I mean, it's pretty much reconfirmed to BB that Fisk was behind the death of her uncle. But I don't know. Like, also, I'm not doing justice to explain the scene, but it really hits it home. And again, here another character where not like there's like the stakes for each character are being pretty. I mean, they're being set here. Like Daniel and BB, their stakes are being set pretty clear here. I mean, like for the side characters, yeah. Heather, she has interesting stuff going on. I mean, we know that she's going down a very bad path. But yeah, this is a great scene here. I can't lie. And then next scene here, we go back to Heather for like the second time since the beginning of the episode, and she is on the phone with that corrupt DA, and he's just telling her to cook the books essentially, like go like change the answers, whatever. Like we have no problems, right? Fisk told me I can rely on you. Just cook the books in order to make it work, right? Just again, another prime example of corruption. Heather just going down the wrong path here, and she's still another example here, showing that she's still having like pretty much like PTSD from the whole Muse situation, and she's like going in and out, kind of like disassociating in a way, I'd say, from reality. So I mean, I wonder what the build-up's going to be for the whole Muse thing, right? Does she end up becoming Muse herself? We'll see. We'll see. But this is good stuff that they're showing for Heather. I can't lie. And next thing here, you see Matt and Karen. And I think this is a scene I was talking about where I think they mentioned Stick. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, they're just talking. Okay. The next scene though is where we go back to that restaurant with the owner, the lady, and obviously she's like kind of like the safe haven for helping people out, right? People that need it, especially people who are, I guess, being like on the hunt in a way, kind of. But she's there to help people who are being like, what should I say? Like not, yeah, like I mean like wrongly accused, like innocent people essentially, right? Because the main issue, the main moral dilemma is that the captain and the crewmate were kind of like doing their job, right? And that's the unfortunate part. And they got dragged into this whole other like bigger thing. And they're just paying the price for it, even though it's Fisk. It's his fault, right? You know what I mean? And then obviously Matt is trying to help. Is trying to like help, find out information, but also like help these people too. And yeah, then she the owner of the restaurant. She goes outside because she's told by one of her staff that someone wants to thank you for the food, and it's none other than the other. I think it's the crewmate, right, from the ship, because we know the captain. I think the captain's dead. He was the one who died, and now there's this other guy, and he's asking for help, and then she's like, "Yeah, I can help you." And then the next scene here, we see Cherry, and this is a spot where I thought it was a safe haven, the safe house, maybe for Foggy during like the marketing they're showing. No, this is where Cherry's at. This is where he's living, and you see all the files. He has all this like, bro, he has all this stuff out that could literally. I'm like, damn. I mean, like I know Cherry's like obviously he's a former cop, so like he's gonna have like files out and about everything. Like that makes sense. Like he investigates whatever, but I'm like, damn, it'd be unfortunate if like the anti-vigilante task force or someone like from the Fisk side just coming here because this evidence is damning. Like he's a clear state guilty. Like there's gonna deal with him right there. And then guess what? Okay, he's just kind of chilling there and doing his work, and then he gets a knock on the door, and it's the quote unquote it's the cops, right? I mean, they know him because he knows these cops because they're former cops who are now in the task force, right? And now they don't have any rules to follow, right? They're already corrupt as it is, but now they're even more corrupt. And Jerry's like, nah, unless you have a warrant, nah, you're not coming in. But I will say the small little detail here is that even though he said that, right, he still was preparing himself, right, putting his arms up because he knew they were still going to come in because they don't follow the law, right? They're just corrupt. So he prepares for them to come in, and then they come in and they just start beating him, like just insanely, just give him an absolute brutal beating. And they put him in the chair, beat him there too. I'm like, damn, don't tell me Cherry's gonna die. And then he's having so much blood come out of his mouth that he accidentally, spits it out on the dude's face, one of the task force members who's punching him. And then because of that, he gets even more of a beating. And I'm like, please, Matt, Daredevil, please come in. And then you see Daredevil come in, he starts beating them up. I'm like, let's go, this is hype. And I think that's time too, maybe a little bit after the Needle Drop kicks in. Absolute great song. I don't know what the song is, but my first time hearing it, but it's a perfect choice. and then you see Matt's beating up, you know, everyone, and then I'm like, okay, cool. And then he realized that like Jerry's like, or then Matt's like, oh shoot, like you're having heart problems, and then Jerry's like, oh, like I, I'm fine. I think he said I can stand or something. I don't know, but obviously he wasn't well. That's the point. He wasn't well. But then you know the conversation's cut short because then uh the reinforcements were sent in because before Daredevil took out one of the task force members, he was able to call in for backup, right? Like radio them, and then so the reinforcements come in. It's like 6 dudes, um, and you know Daredevil's fighting them. Matt's fighting them. He's easily defeating them, but then he hears Cherry's heart, right? And the way they do this whole scene, this whole sequence is insane because it's similar. They show flashbacks to Foggy, right? And even earlier, like the scene before this with him and Karen, they're showing flashbacks of like you know Nelson, Murdock, and Paige, right? And that whole thing. And then here, it's kind of it's like a small little payoff here because then as Matt is fighting, Cherry's heart is like you know it's in even worse condition. It's pretty clear. You can hear it. It's even like it's getting weaker and weaker, like he's dying, right? Like he needs medical assistance. And then Matt is just thinking about like it flashes back to it shows a scene of when uh Matt could hear Foggy dying, right? Like his heartbeat just like slowing down and stopping, right? And then that's why he hesitates, he stops, and because of that, the anti-vigilante task force take advantage of him, and they take him down, right? Because pretty much Matt, he let his emotions get the best of him. That's what Stick would say, at least, right? Matt, you let your emotions get the best of you, essentially. And as it's all happening, like as they take him down, or as the anti-vigilante task force take Matt down, they even unmask him too, right? Like they're hella aggressive. They unmask him, and like, oh my god, it's Murdock again. Like they can't believe they got him. And then all while this happening, they're like dying right there, and you see him dying, and he's about to fall over, like off the chair. And then guess what happens? Let me go here. Let me just revisit this. And then you see all the anti-vigilante task force get taken down, right? By who's it? Like it's by like a knife, right? And then it says "You're welcome" on the knife, and then we see Cherry just fall off the chair. Maybe it wasn't in that order, but that's what you see. And then on the knife says "You're welcome." And who is it? None other than probably Bullseye, right? And I mean, we do know that Bullseye, at least. I mean, seemingly he does team up with the Resistance, with Matt, Karen, etc. Because we do see him in the like Frank Castle's like hideout, whatever. Like just like how everyone else is there. So that does make sense, right? Because they have a common enemy of Fisk. But I don't think we're not going to see for another. I don't know. Maybe they show in episode 2 the whole thing at the boxing gym where they fight each other still. But it seemed like it's just like a quick thing where Bullseye's been keeping tabs on Matt, and then he's he helped him out there. He did him a favor because he doesn't like Fisk. He doesn't like seeing Fisk win. Obviously, he wants to take him out. But this will lead to eventually. They'll eventually on good terms. That's what I'm trying to say. But right now, like, I don't think we're gonna see actually Daredevil and Bullseye interact for a little bit still. Maybe in episode 2 we'll see it later on. I don't know. But the point being, when they do first interact, they're gonna try fighting each other, and then after that they'll team up. But Bullseye, you can see here, he's trying to at least be somewhat of a good guy, even though he's done a lot of bad things. But that's besides the point. And that's the end of the episode. Like it's so good. I can't lie. That ending really like made it like okay. I'm like, yeah, this is good. I enjoyed this quite a bit. It had me grinning, just smiling, ear to ear. I was so happy about it. So happy. And now it's got me thinking like, what's gonna happen next week, right? And that's what I like. You gotta have these good type of endings, cliffhangers. It's crucial to the episode. Like literally, it is crucial. So now I'm excited because next we got episode 2 and 3. So I don't know if episode 2 is like even slower than 1, but if it's the same quality as 1, we're gonna get another good one, and same thing with 3. So I wonder why they're releasing 2, but that's besides the point. I'm excited. We're getting 2 episodes next week, and obviously they're gonna build more up on this, and I wonder how Fisk is gonna be, especially how it's gonna be now because they unmasked, Matt, right? Like his whole identity thing is like revealed. So we'll see what this leads to. But there's supposed to be more twists, turns, surprises, and I'm excited to see them. Like we haven't seen Brett Mahoney yet. I think we might see it in episode 2, maybe. But we'll see. And also, what's gonna happen to Cherry? The main thing. What's gonna happen to Cherry? What's gonna happen to our goat Cherry? Right? Is he gonna die? Just like in the most tragic way here, or is he gonna survive? Let's see what happens. Anyways, that's what I think about the episode down below. Let me know what you think down below. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next one. Peace.